my loyal and intuitive Cancer friend. Hello and welcome. My name is Mina, and I'm here to offer you a 3-card reading exploring the themes of you, your path, and your potential. I invite you to consider what the reading reveals about possible challenges, opportunities, and personal growth for the week ahead. Take a deep breath, rest your mind, and let's see what the cards have to share with you today. In Cancer, there is a quiet pull beneath your surface this week, a sensation like wanting to rest but feeling unable to settle. You may notice a peculiar hum beneath your usual calm, as if something important is just out of sight. It's not unrest in the dramatic sense, but more a soft, persistent ache, a sense that you are standing at the edge of something vast and undefined. There is comfort in your routines, yet also a gentle dissatisfaction, the kind that makes you pause in the middle of a familiar task and wonder what else you might be missing. Unspoken questions seem to hover in the air. Am I choosing what truly matters? Am I listening closely enough to myself? This week you may feel your attention flicker between possibilities, drawn by both longing and uncertainty. It's a subtle tension, but it's real. It colors your mood, shapes your day. You might not name it out loud, but you feel it in your chest, in the way you hesitate before making small decisions, or how you linger over thoughts that never quite settle. Underneath, there is a wish for clarity, an urge to find meaning in the swirl of emotions, to anchor yourself even as everything around you shifts and rearranges. You find yourself surrounded by options, each shimmering with a different shade of promise, but none feeling fully real or certain. The 7 of Cups captures this inner state, not as confusion, but as a landscape of possibilities that keep multiplying. You might recognize yourself in moments where you drift off mid-conversation, chasing a thought you can't quite catch, or when you stand before a choice and feel the weight of every potential outcome. The air is thick with dreams, some tempting, others tinged with worry. You sense the pull of what you want and the fear of what you might lose if you choose wrong. These feelings are not loud, they are more like a gentle pressing from within, a pressure to decide, to move, to do something that matters. Yet you hesitate because every path seems both inviting and risky. There's the allure of change, but also the comfort of what you know. You may notice yourself replaying old scenarios, picturing what could have been if you had chosen differently. Doubt drifts in and out, but so does hope. There is a longing to reach beyond your current life, to see if something brighter waits. But with that longing comes a kind of paralysis, too many dreams, too many what-ifs. You might feel yourself wishing for a sign, something to help you separate fantasy from reality. And while you know that no one else can decide for you, there's a desire for reassurance, for someone to say, yes, this is the right thing. In this state, emotions run quietly deep. You may find yourself both inspired and exhausted by your own imagination. It's a delicate dance between hope and hesitation, between wanting more and fearing that more could be too much. The uncertainty is not a failure, it's the mark of someone sensitive to what matters. Still, it can be draining to hold so many possibilities at once. You want to move forward, but you want to be sure. So you wait, caught between the allure of dreaming and the need for something solid beneath your feet. And so, from this place of inner longing and swirling possibility, your path naturally begins to take shape. When you feel so much inside, when your imagination is constantly at work, the world outside starts to respond. The very act of wondering, of hungering for more, stirs the air around you. Small opportunities begin to appear, sometimes in subtle ways. The tension of indecision gives rise to outside pressures. You might notice people asking more of you or unexpected invitations arriving. Choices that once seemed far away now press closer. The landscape of your days begins to shift, as if your inner restlessness is calling forth new events, new demands, new sparks of possibility. It's as though your longing has momentum of its own, and suddenly you are no longer standing still. The Ace of Wands appears at this point, and the energy it brings is different, sharper, more urgent. Where before you were surrounded by dreams, now you feel the heat of active momentum. There is a sense of something wanting to begin, an impulse that refuses to be ignored. The air feels charged. You notice it in the way your body tenses before a conversation, or how your heart speeds up when an idea grabs you. There are pressures, and they come from both outside and within. Deadlines may loom, or someone might challenge you with a new expectation. You could feel pushed by responsibility, by inspiration, or by the need to prove something to yourself. The friction is real. You might find yourself eager to act, even as you worry about making the wrong move. There's a spark at the center of your week, something that asks for your energy and attention. It pulls you out of the safety of dreams and into the arena of action. The choices you face are no longer theoretical. They begin to take shape as real opportunities or real risks. You feel alive, but also vulnerable. Every step forward seems to matter more. There is excitement here, but also the friction of not knowing exactly where things will lead. You might wrestle with impatience, wanting to leap but fearing a misstep. There is creative tension, a tug-of-war between desire and caution. The world around you seems to echo your internal momentum. Conversations grow more meaningful, tasks more urgent, the stakes a little higher. Even as you act, the memory of all those possibilities lingers. You are asked to choose, to commit, to let something begin. The pressure is not always comfortable, but it's real. It is the friction that signals you are moving, not just dreaming. And with every small step, you feel the promise of something new, even if you can't see the whole shape yet. But the path ahead is not automatic. The potential that waits for you depends on how you meet this moment, how you engage with the momentum that's building, and whether you bring your whole self to the experience. Nothing is promised, but everything is possible if you show up with intention. The movement from idea to action, from longing to doing, is delicate. It asks for presence. If you meet the week with awareness, each choice becomes something more than a reaction. It becomes an act of self-definition. The possibilities you once only dreamed of can start to align into something real, but only if you move through this time with your eyes open and your heart steady. There is no shortcut, no guarantee. There is only the invitation to be awake to what unfolds. This is where the Two of Wands enters the story. It brings the sense that growth is now an open doorway, one you can approach even if you're not yet ready to walk through. You may feel yourself standing at a threshold, aware of both where you've come from and where you could go next. There is a new kind of clarity here. It is not certainty, but a recognition that you have a say in what happens from here. The world feels a little wider, as if you can sense the horizon stretching out before you. You are still holding some of your doubts and dreams, but the fear that once paralyzed you now feels less powerful. Instead, there's a quiet confidence, a sense that you are allowed to explore, to test, to imagine a future that reflects what matters most to you. Growth in this moment is an invitation. You don't have to leap, you can simply look ahead and notice what feels true. The choices you make might be small, but they carry weight. They are steps in the direction of your own becoming. There's a feeling that you can shape what comes next, not by forcing an outcome, but by remaining present to each moment as it arrives. The uncertainty remains, but it no longer feels overwhelming. Instead, it's part of the adventure, part of what makes this time meaningful. When you weave together the story of all three cards, a gentle pattern emerges. You start from a place of deep longing, surrounded by possibilities and haunted by uncertainty. The Seven of Cups holds space for your dreams and doubts, allowing you to feel the full weight of your own imagination. Then, as your longing grows restless, the Ace of Wands brings momentum, turning indecision into action, dreams into opportunities, hesitation into movement. It is not without its pressures, but it is alive and real. Finally, the Two of Wands opens the possibility of growth, not as something you must achieve, but as something you are invited to consider. You stand at the threshold, aware of both the risks and the rewards. Through it all, you remain yourself, sensitive, aware, and quietly courageous. The week does not demand perfection. It asks only that you be present, that you notice the shifts inside you and around you, and that you allow yourself to move with them, gently and honestly. Even if you don't have all the answers, there is reassurance in knowing that you are allowed to move at your own pace. The tension you feel is not a flaw. It is part of being alive, of caring deeply about what happens next. In the quiet spaces between decisions, you can find comfort, and in every small act of presence, you are already shaping the story of your week. Actionable insights for Cancer this week. If the week feels crowded with options, try naming just one thing that feels meaningful right now. Let yourself experiment with a new approach, even if you're not sure where it will lead. Notice the energy that comes when you pause to consider what you truly want rather than what is expected. Spoken word affirmations to repeat aloud for a more positive mindset. I am allowed to feel uncertain and hopeful. Each day I notice where my energy gathers. I trust that small choices can shape my path. This week, I am steady and open to what unfolds. And now, dear friend, I thank you for giving me your time. I truly hope I have given you something helpful in return. Goodbye and good luck until next time.